are back in action. Episode 1, Part 2. And back to you, Greg.
All right. So, yeah, the ship's just docked up, and the anchor is well on its way towards the next colony. The ride there is actually it's about a 5-day flight between the two colonies. Unless is there anything immediate you want to do, like going upstairs to check out the anchor or anything like that?
I'm in no hurry to go up to the other ship.
All right.
Okay, so I will probably spend time going into the rooms that people aren't in at the time and doing cleaning work in them.
All right.
Start to vamp up and clean up my ship to make it look better on the inside at least.
Yeah, it's not a tiny ship, but it's small enough that the clean doesn't take too long.
Yeah. But I'm going the extra method to shine stuff up and make it look more luxurious since I actually have guests.
You do get occasional communications throughout the day, just a few, every couple of hours from the ship, just like doing a check-in real quick.
Yep.
Make sure there's no problems on your end.
No problems on my end. How about yours, ship?
Well, it's a good thing we got the... Oh, you're asking the ship AI?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm scanning the database of this anchor ship. They've got some high-class security on this stuff.
Wow. Actual security for a change.
Yeah. Seems like whatever they got in there is really important, so... I might be able to get some info eventually, but it might take a while.
Just be careful.
I did, however, get names for all the people on board.
Nice.
So if there's anyone you want to know about...
Yeah, see if you can find out the history between Boris and Dmitri.
Well, it's like military records and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to find the family drama hidden in there.
I doubt it, but...
I'll see what I can find.
Yeah.
And is there anything immediate you want to do when the ship's joined up, or...?
Once I check to make sure it's a good connection between the ships, so that everything's good, good. And once we start accelerating,
the connection is secure.
Yep. Sounds good.
You are free to pass between either ship if you want to.
I don't think there's a reason. I mean, don't get me wrong. Once we're like at night, I might come down with a droid or something, but that's about the extent of my need to invade your privacy.
Yeah, and every time you come down, the air has that nice circulated...
It has the atmosphere in the ship.
By the time we're done, we'll fishbowl and re-fishbowl and then recirculate the fishbowl.
Yeah, the atmosphere in the ship is still pretty heavy. You see at this point, Dmitri has pretty much all but forgotten about his serious hangover from the previous night.
Yeah. I'm also looking into stuff like lava lamps and...
Lugnut has thus far not shown any signs of being affected by it. Jury's still out of whether or not he even breathes.
Yeah, but at this point I'm also looking for cosmetic upgrades.
Yep, that's easy stuff to find.
Yeah.
And with the amount that the anchor just paid you, you could probably go all
that's
out on
why
that.
I'm looking at my bank
The ship will
account
look
and
map accurate shortly.
the inside of this ship will look fantastic as soon as I have the materials and stuff to do so.
Yeah, you could order all that stuff and have it delivered to the next colony that you guys are stopping at if you want.
Perfect.
So that's just a matter of what you wanted to get. But I guess we could go over that when we actually land there. In that case, since no one wants to do anything immediate, we'll do like 2-3 days of downtime just as the voyage goes on.
Yeah.
Actually, do some rolls for this.
Unless directed or asked otherwise, I just stay to myself in my ship. Not that I'm being antisocial or saying or such, it's just...
I'll basically come down to roll a joint every night, just as off action, kind of a... I offer you tobacco, I'm not sure if you indulge, but I have that too.
Nah, wasn't really my thing back in the day. They were already making it illegal. Pot was legal, tobacco wasn't. Paparazzi hated that.
They sound like they hated a lot of things. embarrassing people and killing them coldly.
They seem like they
Anybody
eat feel
or
good.
anything that brought people joy, they would go and try and shoot.
I'm glad there's no remnants of them yet, as far as I've heard. Talking like they're some evil demonic menace, mind you.
Yeah. The paparazzi isn't a thing anymore.
Why did you kill these 3 reporters? They're a paparazzi.
The paparazzi worked with the media a lot.
They,
Oh, those great media wars you mentioned.
I'd say with a simple history check, you could pretty much figure out that the paparazzi organization probably died out alongside many of the media ones a couple hundred years ago.
They must have been casualties of the great media wars.
Or they went underground like the Illuminati.
Illuminati, is that another militant group that fought for conflict in the media wars?
Oh no, they were an underground organization that ran everything.
I'm also smoking a joint right now,
Yeah.
so I'm sure I'm at the worst time to tell
Yeah.
these stories because I'm
I'm
like...
sitting there with Dimitri and Lugnut.
Dimitri's invested. Lugnut's still
Invested. I
writing.
love how you
Lugnut's
say
still
that.
writing notes, but he's like looking up and nodding along as you tell these stories.
Yeah.
The first day of travel pass is relatively fine. You guys don't run into anything hostile. You do see a lot of ships kind of behind you at a distance. And they're pretty much just different colored lights in the distance, signifying their approach. You think a lot of people are probably heading out into for colonies further away from Mars.
Oh, screens. Definitely adding screens to the list.
You can order some. You can definitely order some screens. That
Dude,
very basic installation process that the ship can do for you.
do we have a spare screen in the hold among the spare equipment?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
So,
You find a couple of basic screens.
When I notice you don't have any, because I do know ships. I was a drop shoot. I randomly, the next time I come down with a joint, I'm carrying a box.
The Anchor has multiple screens in every room.
I take the
So
spares.
it's very strange to not see a bunch of screens on like the main console. It's all levers and buttons and the lights and an actual steering wheel.
I do look at it weirdly, but I come down with 2 screens and
It's
I
like
say...
maybe a bit rectangular-ish or a bit oblong, but it is a wheel.
So yeah, I say, just because I understand the ship looks like it was stored away for a while as well, I think these might help out. And I drop off a couple screens.
Yeah. We're almost kicking out the mothballs here.
What is a mothball?
What's a moth?
I love that.
There were these little balls that you would put in your storage that would keep away any type of pest.
Were they like vicious hunters and bloodthirsty creatures?
No, they just repelled any type of pest. They smelled kind of weird.
Is that something of your space magic you mentioned? That they just repelled things?
I never understood the science behind it, so you guys call it magic at that point.
I wish magic still existed. I am dead serious when I say that.
Lugnut's
Talking
giving a
about it
chuckle
like magic.
At every mention of magic, Lugnut gives a chuckle. You get 5 screens that you can put throughout the ship as you wish. The central console will fit 3, and then you can put the other 2 kind of across the ship wherever you please.
Oh, yeah, I'll make like a... If there's a spot that looks like it has a whole bunch of switches and buttons added already, that's probably where I'll set it up other than the main console.
Probably put one by the door.
So now you can review screen.
Yeah, you can probably... Actually, yeah, you can put one at the door, and the ship can link it to an outside camera, so you can actually see who's knocking on the door.
That works.
And then you can just put the 4th one kind of wherever.
Yeah.
The final one.
Screen
wherever.
so I can actually see like information data put on the board in front of me as we're
Yeah.
flying and so that the ship can give me crib notes.
So yeah, first day of travel is pretty quiet other than all the people you see kind of coming up behind you. The second day is dead quiet. In the night, because it's space, it's not really a night cycle, but over the next few hours, you do see those lights all kind of disperse, and now there's only really like 1 or 2 that you think are maybe heading in the same direction as you guys. And on the third day...
Hey, boss. It's been a really nice quiet day. I'm loving that you come down to puff me up here. As you know, I'm not really up on what's going on with the times and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Is this ship fast?
Well, judging by what you've said about some ships in your time that used to go light speed, most ships just run
No,
by
no.
fusion.
my ship compared to other ships that you're aware of? Would it be considered fast?
I could make an intelligence check to see what I know from common knowledge as a spacefarer.
Yeah, I'd say make a history check. Just for your previous exposure to.
So 11.
You did see the ship out maneuvering and doing its stuff when you two docked up, so it's very maneuverable. And clearly you weren't kicking it up to like top speed or anything around the ship or anything.
So at best guess?
You think it's a lot more agile and maneuverable than some ships you've seen, but definitely more so than the Anchor. The Anchor is big and slow. If it's pointed in a single direction, it can go fast, but it's very sluggish.
Okay, so my response then would be, it looks like it can get up to a good speed. It also looks like its maneuverability is its key attribute.
The only reason I'm wondering is, and ship, no offense, please don't be offended at all by this. The only engineer I know of that's looked at this were the scavengers that found me and the ship.
Want me to see if the crew chief wants to come down and take a look?
So I don't know how good a condition my ship truly is.
Like, that makes kind of a cough as he's still behind his notebook.
You know, honestly, it's since I've gotten the ship, I haven't had anyone really do a good look through to see how my ship systems are. So as far as I know, everything's good. And the ship fixes itself for the most part.
Lignut puts down his notebook. I'm not quite a ship engineer level of expertise, but I do know technology. I could give it a once over.
Feel free to take a look.
Well, I figure since we can't really pay you until we get into some matches, it's the least I could do.
Hey, I appreciate it. And then that will be the night that I break down in front of Dimitri and tell them my story about how I got frozen while we're all getting like drunk off of a couple drinks. And I'll tell them the whole story about how I got frozen, woke up by these like people.
Dimitri isn't invested in anything you fucking tell him at this point. He like sheds a tear at the end of his story. He like puts a hand on your shoulder. He's like clearly sympathizing with you.
It's been rough, man.
You are a true definition of man out of time.
Yes. And I have a ship that is apparently out of time as well. I'm a floating time capsule.
I'd like not to do it. Phrase it with the ship. I think that's a good roll.
What was that roll? Did I see a 20?
It was a
15.
Oh.
It was a 13, but I'm giving him a very large bonus because he's an expert engineer. So he comes back after like an hour or two. As you regale this tale to Dimitri, he's just kind of been messing around. He does eventually start trying to talk to the ship's AI, but it's very nervous to talk to him. But eventually he does come back, kind of puts like a notepad down in front of you, things he's written down. Tells you...
What's this?
Notes I made about your ship.
Oh, so it's in good condition? Good ship?
It's, much like you said, it's very sturdy. It's definitely built to last. It's covered head to toe in thrusters, so much like your boss said, it's very maneuverable. It's not particularly slow, but it's also not the fastest model.
Okay.
The rear-mounted thrusters are good and reliable, so you won't have any sort of technical issues with them, but
good to know.
Definitely not the fastest out there. In case of emergency, it'd probably handle well. One thing I will note is its self-repair system is very unique. I don't see things like this really anywhere.
Unique is good.
Unique is good.
Because I'm not an engineer.
That's perfectly fair. You don't have to worry about me saying anything to anyone official about the AI.
Oh, I didn't think you would.
It's...
because,
Honestly, the thing in the basement isn't particularly legal either, but we just
I
sort of...
didn't think it was.
Yeah, no, it's...
Hey, especially if you put on the stuff I'm suggesting.
Yeah, definitely. But overall, it seems like a fine quality ship.
Good. Any suggestions for upgrades? I'll be honest, I'm a noob out here.
That's fair. Again, ships aren't exactly my area of expertise,
No problem.
so a lot of my suggestions would be things that would be more fit on a suit or something, but some sort of long-range defensive, offensive thing
I've been thinking about that too.
might be handy just in case we run into any trouble out here. I know it can be the interplanetary colonies, while safe,
I was talking to the ship about a railgun.
can get a bit. Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know why-
Like a bigger version of this one. I pull up.
Oh my goodness! I haven't seen one of these in forever. He like lights up like a kid on Christmas.
Like, yeah, I love this thing. Yeah.
Like if it's he takes it, he looks it over, just kind of clicks a few bits of it apart, and puts it back together. Like, oh my goodness, they don't make these anymore.
I know.
I don't know why they're
This thing's awesome. It'll shoot anything. I could shoot bullets. I could shoot trash.
they're so good for ammo conservation.
Yeah. And the power usage isn't even that bad.
I've only ever seen these things in museums.
Yeah. Well, I want to build one for the ship.
Honestly, that'd probably be the best way to go about armaments, because
Yeah, because you guys don't have shields.
firearms wouldn't really work all that well out in space, and
Yeah, combustion needs air.
missiles are very expensive.
Yeah. No. Let's shoot trash at them.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
That is
I
a
also think we need a bigger cargo area. But that would mean a bigger ship, and that's kind of a pain in the ass.
yes. Yeah. He can't really offer that much in the way of modifications for the ship outside of just like you might want to get some weapons.
Okay.
So day 2 passes pretty uneventfully after that. Again, day 3, it's over the ship's comms, and you get a communication from the ship about it that you're now about a day and a half out from the next colony. We're going to be docking there, just basically for a check-in. Shouldn't be more than a few hours. Supposing nothing else comes up. They're also thinking that they might receive word from the Coalition soon about an official job they may want the ship to perform along the way, which they do say to you that that's probably where your services will come in.
Sure.
In the way ship.
Being that you're going to be acting as an away ship.
Yeah. Sure. Tell me what you need me to do, boss.
When we get orders from the Coalition, we will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look, got any fights here at this station?
It's, 27? Nothing planned yet, but I'm sure if we went around, we couldn't find something.
Hey, ship. Are there any robo fighters on that station?
Hold on a minute. You see a lot of lights flickering. And now the data pads are actually displaying things on them as it's searching different. The screens are displaying things on them as it.
Sam's character's on the bridge of his ship, and he sees like a console light up in the corner for some reason.
The lights kind of flicker on the anchor for a second. You hear some shouting from the engineers. I think it's their fault.
It's not their fault, but they think it is. Okay then.
That depends on how underground our fine friends are willing to get. And Lugnut is like, we have no problems getting as subterranean as you wish.
Black market.
ship.
I think that's what we're hearing.
We have previously discussed not much from legality.
So, is there anyone on the station?
There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a black market.
And I'm looking ahead at a few other places. Seems like everyone on Mars was pretty anti-violence, but the second you get off the planet and the closer you get to the moon, people are getting progressively more violent.
So look, now I gotta know, how do you run these things? Do you have like they do a buy-in, and then if you can beat them, you get everybody's buy-in, or do you set up like exhibition matches where it's like an actual setup match, or how do you guys usually work this?
Usually a deal is brokered between managers of both teams. And usually a fighting organization will put out word on the street about it, or in more underground cases, maybe less word on the street and more just finding people who are interested. There is a buy-in from both sides,
Okay.
and a general prize that is offered to the winning side.
Okay.
buy-ins can be made from outside sources. Bets can be placed.
Okay. So normal bookie shit.
Yes, it's
Okay, so the business hasn't changed much at all.
it's relatively standard.
All right.
For the official organized matches, it's even more by the books. At that point, there's not even buy-ins. It's just registration and prizes are offered.
Do you guys have holograms?
We're getting there.
A simple holographic projection.
Honestly, in 500 years, yeah, probably.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is like, well then, why don't we... Have you ever tried, take a drone, put a hologram of Red Comet on there, and just have it fly around the entire place, advertising a location and a buy-in to go up against a champion.
That is ingenious.
You get advertising, you get people coming in to challenge you, and all you have to do is set up a location.
I must make several purchases. And he gets out his data pad and
I feel like we're gonna get there. There's gonna be some colorized repeating drones recordings, like waiting. Actually, it really is.
And he's pretty much hunched over a data pad in his notebooks, writing down a bunch of shit and doing a bunch of shit.
What's the condition on the ship on day 3? Everything is going pretty
day 3
standard.
is fine. Is there anything you want to be doing over the past few days?
I'm gonna check in with Jenkins to see what became of his crew from the last ship. I know he knows what's up with them.
Sure,
I'm sure he's talked to them.
And I'm just spending the day learning how business works in the current day and age.
Yeah, so you can just kind of meet with Jenkins. He's just kind of walking about the ship, meeting everyone and whatnot. I got mad with the voice. From what I understand, the guys are just kind of stationed at the colony for the time being, but, my guess is they'll be moved out to other security jobs throughout the coalition's Martian colonies, or close to Mars colonies.
Okay.
If I hear anything about them, though, I'll let you know.
Yeah, they were good men. They served you well.
They did.
Okay.
What into that pilot again? That guy was sick.
He was. He's a good pilot. I'll check in with Gilda and spend some time if there's nothing else to do with Dara.
It's really quiet around the ship. Tony's character is just kind of been keeping to himself lately.
Yep.
He's been out and about and doing things, but for the most part he's been keeping to himself. Gilda's fine. She is continuing to make exorbitant amounts of food that no one really knows where it's all coming from at this point. And you can spend time with doing whatever.
Yeah, I'll just hang out with Dara.
I'm gonna say make just kind of like a perception check.
$18?
On an 18, over these past 3 days, it's been business as usual. The ship has people rotating on and off shifts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Pretty much, just in halves basically. People work for half of like a 24-hour period, and then they're on break and can sleep and whatnot. Everyone on the ship has been on this, even you, especially with how much security crew they have now.
Yeah.
It's a lot more easy to manage. But throughout all of that, you've never seen Andy off duty.
I've never seen this guy eat anything.
You haven't seen him eat anything. He could have been eating probably maybe while you weren't around or just eating stuff while he was working. But he's just literally been working the entire time.
So, on my next shift, which is on day 3,
Yeah, it's...
who else is in the engineering?
Oh, it's not nearly this crowd. I'll say the...
I mean, it also could be a night shift or whatever.
Yeah, you just have
like,
Jenkins. I'll say these two are asleep.
so basically, it's just the chief, just the crew chief
Yeah,
and
you
Andy.
walk in and you see them talking, just kind of casually about stuff. You see both the scientist and the secretary are gone. You think they may be sleeping and stuff.
Yeah.
Boris is currently on the bridge with the captain and whatnot.
Perfect. So I'm going to approach Andy and let him know that I have a little question for him about an engineering thing up on another room if you could help me out.
He's like, oh, sure thing.
I'll take him into the secondary security room.
This is why I wrote down all the NPCs' names.
Oh, Skull says, good job, Greg.
Oh, thanks. Sorry if it's kind of boring at the moment. We're just kind of doing business as usual.
I'm sorry if that was a while ago and I didn't notice it.
We're doing a few days worth of time, so there's plenty of time for doing shit. But I'll take him into the security room.
He says bye to the engineer. He's like, hey, Mr. Peters, I'll be back in a little bit. And you guys can...
I want to go into that security room.
This one?
Yes.
You guys can go in.
All right.
Andy seems friendly and whatnot.
I'm going to activate the security on the door. Just
closing the door or locking the door?
Closing the door. And I'll make sure that this door is also closed.
Yeah, he's like, is one of the computers in here fried? Or...
So, Andy,
Yes.
I run security. I'm pretty perceptive about things. You'd get that, right? I'm now the security chief of the ship, right?
I know. I was around when the conversation happened, and you've done a very good job from what I can see.
I appreciate that. I really do. Quick question. Do you have a pulse? As I'm staring at him.
Would hope so.
Well, I'd be worried because you've been overworking yourself so much. It's been like 3 days since you took a break. I haven't even seen you get any food. I'm staring at him with every intention. This is not even any hard for you to pick up innuendo from my direction on this. But I'm nice about it.
Make an insight check.
No, whatever it is, no. 5.
On a 5, you can't really tell what he's thinking. He looks concerned, but he...
That answers my question. That's the worst part. Is he sweating?
Perception check?
Make a perception check.
That's my whole point. I want this to be intimidating because I hate to say it. Anyone else in this situation would be sweating. Is his temperature changing?
Make the roll.
God damn it. Now the dice gods hate me. That's like a 9 at most. No, it's a 7. I can't really tell.
He's keeping his composure. He kind of looks like,
Aghast.
Like aghast. Like, I'm sorry to have caused worry for you, Ron.
No worry.
That's your character's
Ron,
name.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Ron.
Sorry to have
Ron Howard.
caused...
I didn't actually think about that. It's Ran, not Ron.
Ran.
Sorry.
Okay.
Ran.
Sorry to have caused...
Wow, that's funny. I didn't even think of that. I should probably fix that, but whatever. His names change a lot. We move on. But Ran is my first name.
I'm sorry to have concerned you about my well-being, Ran. It's just been... The crew chief is... He's a brilliant man. He's also a very stubborn man.
Oh, no, I can totally understand.
I have admittedly been overworking myself, but...
That's fair. But, if I called the android bounty hunters at the next port that we enter and asked them to scan the ship, am I going to find out how many crewmen are actually breathing on this ship or not?
One would think so. That's their jobs.
You misinterpret me, Andy. I don't mean that as a threat. I need to know the threats that are going to come on the ship. As far as I can tell, you're an excellent engineer, and you're friends with the crew chief. I have no issue with your work, and I find you're an exceptional worker. But if it's going to cause problems for the safety of my ship, you have to understand why my intentions are. Is that fair? For you, Andy?
That's fair.
So I need to know if the bounty hunters are going to try to board this ship at the next dock. And I got to know if I got to hide you, or if there's anything I should know before that. Persuasion.
That's kind of an intimidation, too.
Either one works. My intimidation's higher. I don't know if you want me to go that route.
What'd you roll?
If he's a droid.
I rolled a 12. My intimidation is a +2, so 14. But I actually would do that as persuasion. Still +2. I'm not threatening. I'm not trying to threaten him directly.
Probably week and a half you've known Andy. He's been, all in all, a relatively cheery individual.
Oh, I like him.
He's been pleasant.
He's a nice guy. I have no beef with him.
Very down to earth.
But he could be a threat to me in the future.
His smile sort of drops a bit. Sort of gives a look at the door.
I lock the door. We're here to talk. Click, click.
Ren, The only thing I am worried about on this ship is the criminal we have downstairs.
Which criminal? I tell that honestly. I'm asking him. Which criminal? We have a we have a fighter, an engineer, and a pilot. I don't see any criminals.
He is referring to Shawn.
The pilot?
Yes.
Why is he a criminal? He had a red mark because he was misled. That's not a crime.
He's not of Coalition. He seems to have zero respect for anything around here. I like him very well. He's a pleasant fellow from what I've seen of him thus far, but I can't say he's very trustworthy.
I haven't left my ship.
Well, he met you while you guys were at the colony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be concerned about less him and what danger he could bring.
See,
After all, I'm just a guy from Mars.
guy is a prospective term if you're technically illegal contraband. And I don't need bounty hunters to try to board this ship. But, as far as I'm concerned, you're a member of the engineering crew. And I have no beef with you whatsoever. But be advised. You haven't confirmed my suspicion. That is your right. I'm not going to try to stab you to see if you bleed. Thought crossed my mind, but...
I don't blame you.
But... And I know that you wouldn't have... You might be able to fake a heartbeat or a pulse, but if I stabbed you in the stomach and you don't die instantly, guess what? You're not human. I'm joking about that, but...
Gives a chuckle.
Yeah. But, just so you know, we all do what we have to do, and I can appreciate that. And I know what Mars is like, being a former dropship trooper myself. So, if we do go into ports with scares of bounty hunters, you lay low. Stay on the ship if you can.
Precautions have been made.
Just make sure to be safe. I think you're a valuable member of the crew. I like to keep it that way. Just got to worry about the whole crew. I got the 12 people to worry about, not one.
If problems come up, I'll deal with them as such.
If you need help, reach out. I don't want anyone that has a chance of freedom not to have that. I'll now unlock the doors and...
His smile sort of returns, and as he walks out the door, make one final perception check. Fucking make it with advantage if it's a really bad roll.
I'm not having much luck all of a sudden. Okay, that's a 17.
Try the other day.
Yeah, I might have to.
As he steps out the door, because the room was lit, but not particularly well. As he steps out the door into the bright hallway of the Anchor, you never really noticed how pale he was until now.
So his body temperature hasn't changed, and I was threatening to kill him.
Just in general, he's a very pale person.
But it doesn't look like he was flushed.
Not
I
flushed.
threatened to call the bounty hunters on
not,
him.
not flushed, not sweating.
I consider that confirmation improved. So yeah, he's an android.
Either he ain't exactly human, or he's got a real good poker face.
That was good. That was good.
And
then I thank him for his help like nothing happened, and then never mentioned again, never make any reaction to it. I just had to have that moment for my defense of my ship.
That's fair.
You made 3 points that he doesn't breathe or eat or sleep. So
I don't think I made one that he didn't breathe.
not breathe, eat or sleep is what I meant. But yeah.
Larry?
Okay. Other than that, normal business. Spent some time with Dara.
Cool. Yeah,
Head down for the nightly thing.
things are good.
Hear your crazy stories of the ancient world,
As you
ancient
come
wisdom.
down, you hear me talking to Lugnut. So, we called him the Ringleader. Okay, and the Ringleader was the one that kept the center of the circus.
Oh,
So as I'm rolling the
Okay.
story, I'm listening.
Okay, he would wear a bright red vest, just so everyone's attention would be brought to him. A big top hat, like a stovepipe hat. A tube that comes up with like a ribbon around it. I'm not sure if you have that style anymore nowadays. Okay. Bright bleach white shirt underneath just to get your extra attention, and slim black legs. But the truly great ringmasters, not only would they control the crowd that would get everyone so excited to spend so much money on watching these shows, but they would also be able to stretch their legs so that they would stand to be about 15 feet tall to project their voice across these crowds.
And these ringed leaders, they commanded scores of animals and
Yep.
people in...
To put on a show for the masses that people would pay their hard-earned money to come and watch and get a bit of an enjoyment. And then people during these shows would show off their abilities. There were some that would eat fire or breathe fire. That was usually a very entertaining show.
That sounds like it'd be interesting to see.
Oh yeah. I remember this one guy, he would actually nail stuff right through his body and show it to you as for fun.
Dimitri is 100. He's like leaning over, like when you mention the guy with the nose, he's like, "Oh my god!"
As I'm just describing freak shows.
But yeah, day 3 passes relatively smoothly after that.
I find crazy stories of your weird tribes of the ancient world, your ancient wisdom. That's what my character thinks.
You do notice the following day, when you come up, that Andy is actually in quarters, sleeping. Or at least that's what Crew Chief Peters tells you.
I nod. Hey, if you gotta play the role, you gotta act the part.
Hey, you called him out on his poor acting.
Well, that was the other thing too, dude. If someone, I got to the point I could record the video and see how long he's physically been awake, and when I notice he doesn't stop, then I would have noticed.
You told him, just go talk to the criminal that you saw downstairs. You'll be fine. he'll tell you how to fake the rest of it.
Right.
But that's completely metagame.
Yeah. Both of you make perception checks. I'll say with your ship scanners, make it an advantage.
I am so glad you said with advantage, because my big dice hate me today, but this other dice loves me. Perception?
Yep.
21?
10.
Dropped another mini.
It happens.
Let me get it?
I got it. Or I don't. Thank you.
That was easy.
What'd you get?
10.
You yourself don't notice anything.
Okay.
Just kind of looking out windows of the ship. It's blank space.
21.
On a 21.
I do notice something.
Yeah, on a 21, you notice it's probably about 6 hours ago, you could see sort of in the right distance away from the ship, another sort of light indicator of another ship sort of popped in and had been following in the same direction as you guys. You notice now that it's a lot closer and oriented above you. You can actually sort of see the outline of the ship as it passes by, as it like cruises through space and blocks out stars.
Okay.
Looks like it's getting very close.
Ship?
Yep.
Do we have, like, long-range scanners or anything like that?
We should.
Is that guy following us?
Is there anything written down on that sheet I gave you about scanners?
Guidance chips. Telescopic scanner, +3 to perception scans.
Alright.
I didn't even figure that in on my perception roll.
Oh.
And I have monitors now, so it can actually show me information.
It brings up a perfect view of the guy. It magnifies it a bit. You can see it's actually it looks like it's sort of two ships stacked on one another.
Okay.
Very sort of tall looking. And the ship runs some calculations, runs through footage. You can actually see it. Of the past few hours, it's sped up a lot and reoriented itself. From people who were a lot more naturally trusting than you, they probably wouldn't have noticed it. But the ship is like, yeah, it seems like...
Is it getting in position for something?
Seems like they're moving closer to us very slowly.
Alright. I'm going to contact Ron.
Okay.
Ran,
yeah.
Hey, Ran.
I guess Bob.
I'm probably just being paranoid here, but what do you think of the friend that's been following us and catching up to us?
Do I make a perception check?
Just like looking out the windows of the ship? Or...
Well, no, if he tells me there's a ship coming in, I'm going to run to the nearest communication monitor and start scanning.
Sure, you can run to the main one, which is right here.
So I run there and then check out on it.
I'll say, because you're using that, roll with advantage.
The white die. Because the green one hates you today.
I didn't win.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so at best 7.
The communications haven't really picked up anything unusual.
Do you want to try? top of the dice.
That's almost even better. Like, I don't even want to, like, roll that. Like, dude, perfectly flat on a bunch of die.
You don't notice any unusual readings or sensors on this main monitor here.
I kind of will head into the craft and,
See, the captain is there. He's going over some things.
hello, Captain. Ship pilot. I call out. No offense, I ignore the captain. I go right to ship pilot. We have incoming above us. Can you get some scans in on check on its trajectory? It looked like it might be getting a little too close.
Sure thing. She kind of turns her chair, clicks away to sort of terminal that's off to the side. Haven't really picked up anything unusual. There were a few people following us out of the spaceport, but they just seemed like people who might have been heading in this same direction.
So she doesn't see anything weird?
Honestly, I'm gonna say she sees the ship, but doesn't see much wrong with it being there. I mean, it's definitely closer than a lot of people get, but it could. We haven't received any transmissions or anything. It could just be they're trying to maybe group up or something. Because we are in, generally speaking, a dangerous sector of space now.
I understand. Keep an eye on it. If it does any deviations or gets any real closer to proximity, please notify the ship via the messages. So I'll call back now to you. We're keeping it under surveillance right now. It's just not sure of its real purpose. If it gets any closer, the pilot will let us know.
Well, there's so much room out here to fly by. They don't need to be tailgating us.
Sometimes ships traveling between ports will group up just for space. That's one option. I have a feeling that if she gets any closer, the pilot will reach out, and hopefully it's just someone trying to look big with other people near them.
Are you still keeping an eye on it on the monitor?
Yeah.
You see, as this conversation is happening, it reorients itself, so it's pretty much sideways. And you can see now that the tallness of it is because it was literally two ships stacked on another. As they separate, sort of drift off in a little bit, and then reorient themselves and are clearly sort of moving downwards.
Okay. Dude, you are seeing these sensors, right? They're clearly looks like they're coming and setting up to board or attack us.
I'm a former dropship captain, so I've boarded ships. This is exactly how it goes, right? When I see two ships.
At this point, because the rules have not been liking you, you check the thing, and you now, instead of seeing one ship kind of far away, see two ships cruising very clearly towards you guys.
So I'll run up to the crew and I'll tell you, looks like we're about to be boarded. You guys can stay down there to be safe. We'll handle it up here if you want to help out. Get ready. They should be trying to board from the side. As I run up to the captain. Captain, we have an attacking, probably terrorist, maybe
At
pirates.
this point, you see a screen kind of light up in front of the pilot's chair. It's like, oh, fuck, there is someone. As she sort of like grabs the things, hits a lever, and all the lights kind of turn red.
Yep.
Indicating that the ship's entering combat. As she sort of grabs the things, like, I'm going to try to lose them, but they're a lot faster than us.
I tell
organize your people in case of a breach.
Alright, I go and I tell the captain, secure the door behind me. I'm going to send Boris down here to cover. As I run out, I'm yelling for Boris.
He was at the door waiting pretty much,
Yeah.
and he sort of spins around you, hits the door, there's a sink, and then a sort of like a chunk, chunk, chunk as bolts lock the door.
Yep, I'll run down the hall. Who am I seeing as I run this way?
I'd say at this point, people are sort of funneling their way out.
Yep. So I got...
The ship is relatively lively.
Okay, well, no, that's fine. I tell Gilda to brace for an attack. She can head into the living rooms or the closet behind her area.
She ducks into the sort of mini kitchenette thing.
Yep.
The door shuts. It doesn't lock, but it does shut. You see, Reynolds is actually here. He's like mid-sandwich. He's like, we entering combat? I saw the lights go off.
Looks to be pirates or raiders or terrorists attacking. Put down the sandwich and you can eat it once we kill anyone attacking us. As I run by.
He sets down the sandwich and starts following after you pretty much.
Once I get into the security room, I'm actually going to go find my cat and throw it into a room and lock the door.
You can throw it in with Tony.
Yep, perfect.
He's not much of a combatant.
Nope,
so.
that's fine. I'll send, I'll keep, once I find Jenkins, who's at the next hallway. If I'm going this way.
He's just sort of, he's actually coming out of here.
Alright, Jenkins, get ready.
Or are we under attack? Or?
Looks like we might be. Where's Dara? concerned and serious.
She's talking with the
So-
secretary.
Did you leave your channel open?
Unless you cut it off. Yeah.
So I'm hearing all this?
You could be.
Yeah, you're probably hearing everything he's saying.
Alright, ship. Close off the hatch. Prepare to disengage that lock.
You wouldn't be able to leave the ship. Not right now. Not without our pilot letting you go.
I have a funky idea.
You can communicate this idea to the rest of the ship.
Okay, so ship, what do you think? Obviously they're going to be detaching on and boarding on. I don't know how they really do this too much because I haven't seen pirates yet.
I
But-
haven't seen any combat either, so...
Yeah, but if we can detach, drift behind a little bit, come right up above them, use those wonderful little arms of yours to disable their engines a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Make a few issues for their ship so that they have to run back to that quick, and then we can get away easier.
Well, we can't detach from the cruiser without them initiating the thing. Otherwise, I'd just have to break us off of the mad box, and then we'd be stuck in space.
So sweet talk the ship into letting you go.
Alternatively, you could just communicate with the bridge and...
Bran,
Yep.
drop us.
I communicate to the pilot.
You actually get the captain, because the pilot's very busy at the moment. He's like, hello! Hello, Sergeant Howard. Is everything all right up there? We haven't been boarded yet, have we?
Nope. At the moment, it looks like all my men are ready. Most of the civilians, as I put the engineers into the barracks, like, just shove them in there. So it's only combat personnel on the fleet. So everyone else is in a room. The crew chief can stay in engineering. That's fine. He's good there.
Yeah, he's... He reaches into, like, he thought it might have been, like, some sort of hatch or something, like a vent. He opens it up, starts taking a bunch of guns out.
This is a good crew chief. Okay. Then I'll communicate with you in response and tell you that, Yep, so, the captain. Yep, just, tell the captain, it looks like the, Bob's ship wants to go and try to at least do an aerial assistance. Please let them disembark.
Captain Noah, would you allow our friends downstairs to disembark? And then you can hear it over the comm. There's just a slam of a button, and then the ship's like, "Oh, we're free."
Excellent. All right, so I'm gonna start doing that maneuver I was talking about.
Maglocks disengage. The maglocks disengage and fold away. You sort of drift for a little bit until the ship can ignite its engines. And I guess we're gonna need a different map for this.
Yeah, we could do theater of mind for my stuff.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you figure if they're boarding the ship, everything's gonna be on the ship anyway,
Yeah, okay.
except for me on the outside fucking with their ship,
Yeah, so you can
scavenging.
Yeah.
you just sort of make a loop around the ship and head up towards them.
Yep.
How are they, where are they at now?
They have. Let's see. They're taking their sweet time. You think that might be because personnel is gearing up, but they haven't made it very far. So there's probably about, I'll say, 10 minutes before they would arrive at the ship, or at the anchor, I'd say.
Okay. And I'm being stealthy so that they won't see me, right?
You're cruising along. Yeah, I'd say make a.
Piloting roll?
Yeah, make just a general piloting roll, so add intelligence.
Ooh, I finally rolled high on this dice.
That was a good roll.
19 plus 5?
The ship actually makes a suggestion that you turn the ship upside down because the cargo bay is actually a darker metal, so that it actually kind of stealths you
Sounds
a bit
perfect.
more. So you sort of upturn it space. So
Yeah, we gotta paint this thing black.
and you approach very stealthily, honestly. As you get closer, you can make a general perception check for these ships.
13 plus 16?
You can see now these are
15, sorry.
These are very plain-looking ships. They're sort of rectangular and then come to an angled point at the front.
So they're very, very basic cargo ships.
Very basic cargo ships. You see on the side, on either side of them, though, there is a. Oh no, it's on the top. Sorry. There is a. What looks like a mechanism that might have been connecting the two halves. That I'm gonna just say in general, it looks like they could probably sort of clamp that onto the side of the ship and board through there.
Dock and clamp.
Okay.
Some sort of dock and clamp. There's a couple of pointy things that you think might be to like dig into metal and whatnot.
All right. So I'm gonna.
They're about. I'd say the two halves are about 2/3 of your size, for the size of your ship.
Oh, so smaller than me.
Yeah.
Combined, they were probably a bit bigger, but they look a lot less like independent fighters and more like boarding ships.
Okay. So.
What do you want to do?
Once I get up behind one of them, I want to ship with those arms. Either disable or change the direction of one of their thrusters.
See what I can do. Get me in close.
Okay.
Make a piloting roll.
17 plus 5, 22.
Jesus, okay.
Now I'm rolling good.
Right.
I get to prove I'm a good pilot.
You come up alongside the leftmost ship, and you can see, as you do get very close, you can see a few people running around inside of it, and they actually, at this point, as you get very close, do notice you, and they start to scramble faster. The other ship sort of picks up the pace at this point and leaves its friend in the dust, as the, on a very high attack roll, the front of the ship panels open, both claws sort of zing, chink, clang, clang come out. And as the dropship tries to make a sort of evasive maneuver with a quick just kind of blast of the thrusters, you very easily latch onto the side of them and are just holding the ship in place at this point.
Excellent. Go ahead, take it apart. Salvage. And I'm going to call him up on the radio. You said I can keep all the salvage I get, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm salvaging.
You can see very clearly through just the front window.
And I'm doing this on a completely open channel, so if they have any of their radios open,
Yep.
they can hear it too.
Yep. You can see plainly as the claws continue to clench, although they've already grabbed the thing. You can see metal denting. The engine flickers out, and eventually the left claw, which is very close to sort of the bridge of the ship, just full on crunch severs the bridge from the rest of the ship. And as it lets go, you can see the personnel inside floating off into space.
Okay, quietly grab the piece and escort it
Yeah,
towards the ship again.
at this point, it kind of the claws kind of shuffle around to hold on to the rest of it, and you see a lot of little parts start coming out and taking bits and pieces off of it, carving metal off, kind of ferrying it into underneath the pilot's seat area of the ship, where it's ferrying in everything that will be used to further strengthen the ship.
So basically, your ship's eating it.
Yep.
Yeah, your ship it just came up, snapped this thing's head off, and is now eating it.
That works.
Yep. Did the other ship see this?
The other ship is very frightened and is booking it towards you guys. But you have effectively just cut off half of their forces right then and there.
Okay.
So as you're doing that,
I see that one of the ships just blopped out of radar.
yeah,
That's enough for me.
You see,
I'm sitting there. Dimitri, what do you think of that?
like, comrade, this ship is amazing. This is a luxury liner. And
Yes.
anyone who says otherwise, I will fight.
Duh! Salvage, we need parts.
Nah, you will make it stronger. He's into this.
Oh, look, man.
On the sort of like stellar, it's pretty much like a submarine radar, pretty much.
Yeah.
You see the what the fuck signal kind of, it goes in very fast, comes up behind these guys, comes up right next to one. You see there's basically dots with names on them.
Yeah.
It comes up next to one. The other one next to it scoots ahead, and then about 5 seconds later, blip, the other thing disappears.
Effective.
You also do hear everything that he says,
That's fine.
including Dimitri shouting very loudly about how awesome this is. But you do also receive a radio from the Anchor's pilot that one of the boarding ships is catching up with them.
Received. What side of the ship is it on?
Seems like they're going to breach on the rightmost wall, close to the front of the ship.
Alright, so I'll tell Dara to hang out in engineering.
She does mention how she may not be the most effective in this fight, considering her main weapon is something that could quite frankly kill a small ship.
That's what makes it
I mean,
good.
she's down to punch someone in the face.
I tell her to meet up with the chief, because I saw him pull guns out. So if you need other guns, talk to the chief.
You look over now, and he's assembling an armory in this corner, pretty much.
He's got plenty to spare. And then I motion...
She runs over and starts reading through things.
Yep. I tell her to keep the back of the ship good. Pilgrims with the cat, front of the ship. We're going to go over to where they're expected to go.
Yep. As you're running...
I wink at her as I leave.
She winks back.
Yeah, that's right.
Gives you sort of like a half salute. And as you're running towards the front, you can actually see at this point...
Like the portholes
you
of
can,
the ship.
You
That's kinda
see
cool.
the ship actually pull up alongside as windows are darkened. As this thing pretty much pulls up alongside. There is a few lurches of the ship.
As it's trying to bomb.
As it's trying to get on, and you think the Anchor's pilot may be trying some last-ditch evasive maneuvers, but it's not very useful. The Anchor is pretty much going in space as this thing eventually...
Can we tell... Like, we're running in that at this point.
You're
like,
running in here?
Yeah, all three of us. Jenkins and Reynolds.
You guys are
Us
running
three.
here. You see through the wall 4 spikes, pretty much. And there is a bit of depressurization.
I tell everyone to grab onto something.
It's only for a second before you can hear through the thing on the wall, sort of... Just a kink, and then sort of a suction as the depressurization suddenly stops as you think the boarding is now complete. Or the ship is latched on, pretty much.
I tell Reynolds and Jenkins to get ready to defend.
Where do you want to position them? These are your NPCs. They follow your commands. You can position them wherever.
I'm gonna be in this doorway with it open, and I'm gonna wait for them to breach and have all these guys get ready to come out.
All right.
That's why I tell them to position themselves.
Yeah. So they all.
So we're all like in cover right now.
They all take cover. You take cover in here with the door open.
Yep.
And in that brief amount of silence, where they're waiting for everyone to burst in, and you guys are all lined up with your guns lined up, you know, that brief moment of silence, that's when I chime in. Hey, this is actually kind of fun. Do you need any help up there?
I radio back. If you want to come for fun, feel free, but otherwise we should have it done.
Okay. Close channel a sec. Ship, can we drag this over with us?
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
And actually, the claw is kind of turned downward, and you see a few. I really need to learn how to refer to parts of ships, because that'd be like regular ships. That'd be very handy. But a bunch of underside maglocks come out and sort of latch it to the bottom of the ship, so that the claws are now free.
Awesome.
They retract a little bit, but the actual claw parts, the arms retract in, but the claws are still sticking out.
So now it's stuck to our belly.
As it reorients, sort of adjusts for the additional weight, and then blasts off. I'm going to say it'll take you about 5 rounds of active combat to get back.
No problem.
As that conversation finishes up, you do see at this point they are now cutting through the wall.
Yep.
You see like 2 thermoblades breach the hull. After it takes a little. It's basically like Qui-Gon Jinn doing the thing on the blast door, but a bit slower. As they breach the hull.
Small group.
And they're cutting a hole. It's not a perfect circle at this point. It's very jagged and messy. You can hear as part of the wall is cut away, very shouting and stuff. Not in English actually. You think it's make a perception check if you wanted.
19.
You think it is a lunar variant of Russian. As the entryway is complete, roll initiative.
11.
Also, do you want to roll initiative for these 2? Just because?
Sure. Jenkins is 12, and Reynolds is 15.
Can you be a pain and split the party?
That's fine. 12, 15. What was your roll?
Mine was 10.
I'm gonna say add your dex to it.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
I
how-
didn't,
that's
we didn't
how
have a modifier for
That's
it.
how initiative usually works. I think.
Okay, so 15 for me.
So you share initiative with Jenkins. I'm gonna say you can coordinate your attacks with him however you want because you share the same initiative.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, half of these aren't getting used now.
I'm also gonna radio to. This is gonna be a
That was-
direct.
That was cool.
That
was cool. No,
honestly.
you
That
rolled
was-
with it.
That was
Roll with
great.
it. That
I'm
was
scared.
good.
That was fucking great.
That was good.
I am Harlock.
Yep.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
We're embracing
Little ship
that.
hard guy.
Evil space
We are
pirate.
embracing it.
I have no idea.
I
if there
call
are
in
people.
direct communication to both Dara and Boris and tell them to be on standby in case we need reinforcements. And they're both at the doors, like basically, I want them here and there.
Yep. You are
And
in
just
charge
in
of
case.
You're in charge of ship security, so you can position and coordinate these guys
Yeah.
however you want.
But I just want to have Jenkins and Reynolds next to me right now to handle it.
These guys are stupid for not running.
Honestly, you took out one or two ships before they get there. This other ship, they're either desperate or ballsy. But either way, they'll probably be dead.
Keep their ship intact.
What will we? That's the other thing. They're cutting a hole in the side of a ship. If you ripped off the ship, you depressurize ours. So it's got to stay where it is right now.
And yours doesn't have auto repair.
No, that's a cool, nifty trait.
Skull wants you to know to have a good night, and you're doing a good job, Greg.
Thank you.
I think that's Tom.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know who that is.
Well, fucking Joe 666 is Joe.
Yeah, that's Joe.
Okay, and I'm thinking that Skull is Tom, but I'm not very good at remembering everybody's names. Oh yeah, that's Tom, because I found records of him blessing Greg
Okay.
and Joe.
So you guys are just pretty much sitting here.
Yes, it's Tom.
Gotcha.
Hi, Tom. So you guys are just sitting here and wait for them to breach.
Yep, in cover in case they use type of flares, flash, smoke, explosive, whatever.
Once the cutting through the hull is complete, it is deathly silent for about 30 seconds before the part of the wall that was cut out is blasted pretty much into the couch over here as a heavily armored man charges out pretty much with a war cry.
Okay.
And following behind him is another man with a very large rifle. You beat literally all of these guys in initiative rolls. So
Okay.
how do you want to do this?
Their surprise round turns into your surprise round.
Well, we were ready.
No, you were ready, so they don't really get a surprise.
So my character is gonna toss a flashbang at their feet. It's like a 15-ish
All right, yeah.
foot throw.
5, 10,
Okay, yeah,
it's
21.
Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm communicating with my comms, flashbang out so that my guys can turn their
I'm
heads.
gonna put this here for now, just so I can make easy rolls.
That's fine.
So that's
Flashbang.
I believe it's a con save for that.
Yep, it's a con save.
The gunner fails it and kind of takes a steer into this table, but the armored guy, the heavily clad armored guy, was pretty much already here and is back to it. So he's off put a bit by the sudden psst, but he isn't actually
Flash.
stunned. His attention then does turn to you, though.
Okay. Alright, so then I'll run out.
I'm gonna say you can do one attack.
One
as you do
attack,
that.
yeah. Dirty 20.
That'll hit.
Ooh. So that's 15 damage. With the stun baton. And
15, you said?
Yep. And am I going for Jenkins and Reynolds?
I'll make their attacks in a second. You can give them commands for how you want them to attack, but otherwise I can just...
Yeah, cover the breach. It basic command so that they know to kill things that'll get bad trying to enter our ship.
Reynolds pokes his head out. He's carrying a pistol, pretty much.
Okay.
Takes a shot at this dude's back. Goes very high in hits.
Hopefully he's using good ammo.
Not so much. It kind of dents the armor, but doesn't dents the dude's armor, but you don't think it really was that effective.
Okay.
It's not a special gun. It's not like elementally infused. It's just a
Yeah.
pretty standard firearm, which goes bang. I guess. I never really went into how to fight.
I mean, yeah.
Jenkins actually pulls out a knife and hurls it at the dude. You see there's a quick click and part of the handle, it's a very small knife, sort of lights up red as he throws it. It misses, hits the chair. And you do see where it hits the chair, there's a smidge of smoke. Kind of goes, damn.
Damn it, Jenkins.
And we're like, damn it! Because he has that sort of
High-pitched voice.
high-pitched, squeaky voice.
Damn it, Jenkins.
Well,
Alright.
Sarge.
Sorry, sir.
Do better.
I give you credit. I can't do that shaky voice very well.
Thankfully, my voice is kind of naturally high, so I can do that.
Yeah.
The armored guy, sort of, he's very tall. Not like ludicrously tall or anything like that.
But big dude.
But like he's a bit taller than you. Sort of looks down, ready the sword goes to take a swing at you. He's
Okay.
carrying a high quality thermal blade. It's a bit bigger and chunkier than your machete. It's more of like a standard sword. Very bulky handle, very large energy pack. It's glowing bright orange. You think he might have been one of the dudes who helped to breach the door.
Okay.
Help to cut the door. As he takes a swing at you. What's your AC?
18.
Then he fucking misses.
That's right.
Good.
Did not miss on the second attack though.
Yeah. Post a note. Thank you.
So he goes for 2 wide slashes. Completely misses you on the first one. But as you're running out of space to dodge because you're kind of cornered, he sort of catches you just across the shoulder.
Okay.
With one. It's not that hard of a hit, but it does cut through your outfit and sear a bit of your flesh. For 6 damage.
Okay.
This guy was just kind of leaning against the wall, recovering from being flashbanged the second he breached. Sort of straightens himself up, and as Jenkins is ducking back behind cover, he's going to take a shot at him.
Okay.
Are there any bodies left in the ship?
No, they all floated out into
Oh, I
space.
just wanted one.
Um,
It would have been fucking awesome.
He's still kind of a bit dazed, so he turns, fires, and misses Jenkins, who just sort of goes whoosh, behind cover.
Yep.
And at that point, I'm going to say dude number 3 breaches.
Okay. Can I make out if there's any other movement coming from inside of the place?
Make a perception check. I'm going to say at disadvantage because you've currently got 2 dudes blocking you.
Okay, so a total of 13.
You can see a bit of movement.
Okay. So I called off action. Is it my turn or someone else's? I just want to make
It's
sure.
top of initiative at this point.
So it is my turn.
Yep.
Okay.
You are now 4 rounds away.
I'm gonna call.
Sorry, this is a bit boring for you.
Oh no. If there's any possible way that I can at least grab one body.
Well, there's probably going to be bodies in the ship, but
No, because I want to grab a body so when I fly around from in front of the ship, I can throw a body at their windshield.
on a nat 20.
Body floated
One of
over.
the little sort of itty-bitty claws used for collecting
Minor
scraps.
repairs?
For scraps and minor repairs. As you turned around, it reached out for part of the ship and grabbed the body by the leg and has been dragging it the entire time back.
Perfect.
So it's just kind of dangling in space like this. It's a bit crispy because it's near the engines.
I don't care.
It's still recognizable as one of these dudes, but it's just sort of floating in the back like this.
No, my general idea is to,
The AI points out,
get
like,
in front of the ship again,
the
and
AI,
then throw the body at the windshield of the other ship.
the AI actually catches it. It's like, oh, fuck, we have a straggler. And then
Hold on to it.
It brings up the screen and you just see the body dangling.
Bird body, all
I was going to say
charred.
dangling in the breeze, but I guess dangling in the void is a more apt statement.
It is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to...
Yeah, stop of initiative.
Off
so-
action, I'm going to call Boris into the main chamber to lock the door behind him and Dara to start making her way up, but I figure Dara will take at least 2 rounds to get to me.
Okay.
I just want Boris as in cover.
And see, ship, if we had a railgun already, we could have just put the body in there and fired it at the ship.
Meat cannon.
Meek.
Boris breaches, and you hear the door sink as Boris breaches. Dara's on her way.
Yep,
But
that's fine. Now for my main action, I'm going to
yep,
attack
you've got
the...
2 attacks.
I'm going to attack the guy in front of me.
Do you want Jenkins to go before you? Because you do share initiative.
Sure. You can go ahead then.
He's had enough of the throwing knives, so he reaches for a stun baton as well that he has.
Okay.
He's only got the one.
Hey, get this man some guns.
So he kind of runs up behind and ting off the dude's armor.
Damn it, Jenkins.
Takes a step back. I'm sorry, sir. I thought this would be useful, but
I will buy you better weapons,
it's a lot
Jenkins.
harder to stun these dudes when they're wearing power armor.
No shit!
And then you can go.
So, the guy he just failed at, yeah, the dirty 20 hit him? Okay. And I'm gonna go for another strike on him. That sucks. 11.
The dirty 20 hits.
Okay. So,
Was that an 11 total, or you just rolled an
11 total.
Okay, yeah.
That was a low roll. Well, it's 6. 14 damage on the strike that hit.
Over the radio, I'm coming.
As he kind of like turns his head a bit to see, you think it might have been like trying to turn around to slash at him. You catch him in the side of the neck with the front of the stun baton and actually see him freeze up a little bit. And as he takes a step away, you can sort of see his movements slowing down as this guy sort of is like, oh god! They aren't actually speaking at this point other than just like combat grunts. But
Yeah.
you can see him like turn concerningly towards his ally.
Okay.
So then Reynolds is going to take a shot. Reynolds rolled exactly this guy's hit points. So as this guy's sort of stunned, he sort of turns his head down towards you so you can't catch him with that. Unaware to the fact that Reynolds is directly behind him, and Reynolds just puts a bullet in the back of his neck. And he drops to the floor dead.
That is how you do it, Jenkins. Good job, Reynolds. I say that out loud.
Like he catches
immediately.
he catches the movable mesh between the parts of the armor. It's just bang, and the guy drops.
Good job, Reynolds.
His buddy turns towards you.
I figured that was happening next.
That's gonna hit. This guy's got a thermoblade hand axe, pretty much. As he takes a swing at you and hits you with a nat 20.
Ooh.
That's not good.
So, 10.
Everything going okay over there? I'm trying to catch up.
We're handling it. Over the comments, I'm like, oh,
We take 18 damage. And oh wait, nat 20. Thermoblades get a burn thing on nat 20s.
That's right.
And an extra 2 burn.
Does that cauterize the wound?
It cauterizes the wound, but it hurts like hell.
Fuck, at least I'm not bleeding anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about bleed, but those wounds burn.
That didn't sound good, man. You okay?
Oh, they're using thermal blades, and there's at least...
Oh wait, I should roll
3 or
initiative
more
for
of them.
Boris. Okay, holy shit. Well, it's a good thing we're at the top of initiative because Boris rolled the highest on initiative.
Well, I got the other ship.
The other one already docked against the hull, so we
You're
can't...
now 3 rounds away.
I'm trying to catch up.
Nah, man.
You are clearly visible at this point. to
Just
the-
watching the ship
the
come...
bridge. You can see through like a window. You can see in the distance the light of the what the fuck approaching.
Okay.
The
Nah, keep
what the
moving.
fuck. Sorry, I've been saying it
Yeah.
wrong.
What the fuck?
Well, it's a good thing Boris is out here because he rolled very high on initiative.
Wada.
Water.
What the fuck? Okay.
Water.
Boris sort of slinks by Reynolds or dashes by Reynolds, and he has his very pretty much has the same type of revolver that you do. at this point, the very large,
Uh-oh.
large caliber cryo one. And he swings and takes a shot at the big dude who just fucked you up. And misses. He takes a second shot. And hits. So his first shot goes...
Is it a cryo gun?
Huh?
Is it a cryo?
Yeah.
We're involved with cryo bullets.
So...
Yeah, so it hits the wall and like...
Yeah, just ice cube.
Well, it would have hit the wall if there was still wall there from the breach, as his first shot...
Shot into his own ship?
His first shot misses this guy completely. You see flying through the doorway a drone with a gun, like a stun gun mounted on it, that is immediately blasted to pieces back into the ship.
Aren't
As he
you lucky?
misses on the first shot. I decided to be nice and not
Oh.
not have Boris accidentally kill everyone.
Appreciate it.
As he completely misses on the first shot, reorients himself, and hits on the second shot for... what die of damage does your gun do? Because he is the same one.
It's a handgun, D8 plus 2, and the cryo is D6.
Not particularly high. Catches the big dude kind of across the knee with it, and you see a bit of steam coming from where it grazed him.
Okay.
Didn't roll particularly high on damage. It is now your turn. You've got this guy. Oh wait, I never rolled for. Whatever. I never rolled for the second bad guy, but whatever.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't rolled yet, man, so
He misses.
Okay.
He takes a shot at Boris, and Boris, like a shadow, sort of
He's good for defense. So I'm attacking the guy in front of me.
fuck him up.
Yep, 21.
That'll hit.
Does 18 hit?
Yes, actually.
Okay. So first hit. 13 damage on the first hit.
Okay.
And 13 damage on the second hit.
26 total.
Yep.
Yeah, you pang, catch him in weak parts of his armor, and he staggers back, very clearly hurt by it. Some rolls. This.
You're so nice and non-lethal. I just killed a ship full of people.
And that's a hit.
Surprisingly enough, my character, although a soldier, really isn't... I can't say he's very bloodthirsty.
Jenkins, spurred on by your words,
God damn it right, Jenkins. Be useful.
full on charges this dude for like a shoulder tackle, lets out a very squeaky scream, like warp, like ah, as he rushes this dude into a shoulder tackle and pushes him back maybe an inch.
Did it look like it affected that guy at all?
He was definitely surprised by it, and he's got someone in his face stopping him from firing his gun at this point.
That's right, Jenkins. Use what you got, man.
Jenkins is very short in comparison to this guy. He is just like a 20-year-old dude fresh out of the academy. Like
He's totally gonna
This is
die.
still his first week of being a soldier, and he just shoulder checked this heavily armored space pirate.
That's the commitment I want, Jenkins. I yell that in game.
Dimitri and I need to teach him dirty fighting.
Any help would be
Jenkins is
appreciated.
engaged with this dude. So Reynolds yet again takes aim from behind and misses.
God damn it, Reynolds.
Just sort of pangs the same chair that Jenkins stabbed earlier.
Poor chair.
That poor chair is getting fucked up. And I'm going to say at this point, Dara bursts through the door behind you.
I can use my movement to get out of the way. Well, actually, is she carrying her big gun?
No,
So she has a gun that she could shoot.
she doesn't have a gun.
What does she have?
She has, what's its name? It's that sort of, it looks a lot like that very large kind of...
RGM 150 Knuckle Slayer.
Not what I got planned. Because Dara's a strength build. But, I think they're called kanabos. Those
Like a
giant
mace?
maces, pretty much.
God, I love this one.
It's like futuristic and smooth. It looks a lot like you know Barbados Lupus's sword mace.
So my bitch has a cannon and she can wield a
Not
mace?
the giant one, but the kind of smaller. It's usable but very large.
So she's carrying a big mace.
Yeah.
That's sexy.
Big glowing sledgehammer.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is glowing actually.
So I'll get out of the way for her if she can make it.
She bursts through the door on cue you move, I'm gonna say she gets surprised on this fucker, just cause. Doesn't hit with either of those.
Damn.
She takes him by surprise. Fucking big ass swing as he takes a step back. Oh, he's gone.
He got him so excited he couldn't hold his pee.
Misses, but the dude's on edge. You're now 2 rounds away.
Yeah, Dimitri and I like, this is great.
You can hear all the commotion over the comms since they're still open. You've heard gunshots, a lot of screams. You heard Jenkins' very squeaky war cry, and then a thud.
Go Jenkins! You all dead yet?
You heard a door slide open, and then a very familiar female voice just, like a very intimidating battle cry.
Yeah. I'm going to have the arms bring the body up
It
towards
kind of
the
passes
center.
itself across a bunch of littler claws, and as the big-ass clanging claws of the ship are retracted, there are now little sort of arm claws that are pretty much holding this body by the arm and by the leg, like stretched out.
Perfect.
And a very gruesome sight, as this dude had his armor half on pretty much. So he's got like armored legs, and he's got sort of like a chest piece, but then you can see he's just got like a shirt on and like a comm thing on his ear. His skin is like blue at this point.
And partially roasted.
It's
and,
very morose and gross, as you guys are now probably about like here-ish.
and he's my hood ornament.
So Dara missed on her melee attack, unfortunately.
Damn.
But this dude is sufficiently spooked, and now she's kind of just standing beside you.
That's right, woman.
I guess she got a surprise run for that, but I guess she rolled very poor on initiative. So it's top of initiative. Boris does a dive and a roll pretty much,
It's my boy.
and perfectly precision between targets hits this guy. Just sort of in the shoulder. Was this one and this one. For a lot of damage. You see he takes a shot, it chunks into this dude's armor. You can see where the bullet carves a hole through the armor and into the body. There is steam billowing out from the the different cryo infusion stuff, as the armor around it turns cold, and you hear some kind of metal crunching as the cold eats away at it a bit. And this dude's shoulder is smoking pretty much.
Yeah. He's very hurt, I imagine.
It's going to give a Jenkins advantage on what he's about to try. Okay, that's decent. Worse. Jenkins pretty much just tosses the dude to the side at this point, mainly thanks to the fact that he just got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
As this guy sort of staggers back a bit. He full-on drops his gun when he gets shot, and he's now like this, and you can see his other arm is not moving. It's just sort of there.
Okay.
So this dude, advantage of attacks against him.
Yep.
And then you.
So how's the guy in front of me looking?
Very hurt. He's not very he's very light on his feet. Not because he's agile, but because you just hit him a whole lot.
So I'm going to attack this guy first. Does 19 hit? Will he probably die after this? Okay. Then I'm just going to use my second hand attack to attack the back of that guy.
Advantage because A, you're behind him, and B, Jenkins just gave him a big old shove.
Nat 20.
On this dude.
Yeah, that dude's
I
messed.
think your baton has a special effect on that 20s.
Yeah, if he lives past this, he's gonna be he's gonna be stunned.
Mm.
So we'll see if he lives past
Are you
this.
trying to kill these dudes? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going for headshots. These are pirates.
So I'm gonna
Zero
say,
care if they
I'm
die.
gonna say on that first attack, because this dude had like no health to begin with. I know you're going to kill him.
Yeah.
With how much damage your stun batons do? You catch him in the front of the throat, and he drops. Drops his weapon,
It
and
was
then
also
you
13 points of damage.
on this dude.
Not that dude. I crit it on that guy. I haven't got.
Oh
to
yeah,
yet.
no, that's well above the amount of health he had left.
The other guy, I think we're at a total of.
We're doing double damage for crits instead of
Yeah.
max damage. So, how much damage does this man take?
I almost rolled max damage. He's probably hurt. So the max for
Give me
that.
the number.
For the first hit, it was
Or
13.
on the second hit, first dude's dead.
30 damage. If we're doubling everything. If we're double damage, I do
30
15.
damage.
15 doubled. Or it's dice
Sam, you had
damage.
30
So
max
25.
health.
Okay, he's very dead.
How the fuck do you want to do this?
Honestly, just technically speaking, with my stun batons, if I beating him to death, they're gonna die, right? Okay, so I'll just go for headshots to take him out. This guy take out his throat, and this guy back of the skull. Just take him out.
Man,
Sure.
you take the stun baton after you shove it into the guy's throat. You just flip it around backwards, jab it into the other guy's throat as the baton punctures
There's only one dude
into his
left.
windpipe. Right up
Well, I
into
killed
his
this guy, too.
skull as you see the flashes of electricity flash across his eyes as his brain just fries.
So yeah, I guess I'm destroying some
I thought that
necks
was
with
nicely
electricity.
descriptive. That came
Yeah,
to
so you
mind.
thwack this dude down to the ground. You catch him in the throat. He goes back. He's down. His body is shaking a bit. It almost looks like he's having a seizure. And then this dude, who's like eyes still locked with Jenkins, you, with almost uncanny speed, come up next to him, and with all of your might, jab the stun baton into his throat. It breaches the movable mesh, and you can see this dude's wearing a helmet with like eye holes and stuff. The eye holes are now flashing pretty much, as you can tell that you have sent a very large shock of electricity in through this dude's throat to the rest of his body, and he sort of goes like this. There's a smell of burning flesh. There is splatter. Jenkins is kind of covered in blood from you stabbing this dude's throat in with a blunt force object, causing a lot of spraying. He is very dead, falls to the ground. Smoke coming out of the eye
Is
holes
there
of his
anyone else
helmet.
in the boarding ship? I immediately tell Dara to cover me and walk over and look in.
You walk into the boarding ship, and you see it's kind of, at this point, similar in size to the Aquilus. So there is a pilot's thing right here, and then an empty troop carrying bay.
Is there anyone in the pilot seat, or is it just programmed?
So I'm like around away now.
You're like coming up on
yeah,
them now.
I look through and see you, and I
Honestly,
wave.
if you arrive at this point.
Hey, so should I rip this thing off the side of the ship?
No. I put a hole in the side.
No? Okay, whoa, ship, come to a stop. The body, it just let go and it just floats and smashes into the windshield.
A bunch of thrusters on the front, sort of like vernier thrusters, sort of kick it in. As it crosses the step, the claws lose holding of it and kind of go like this after it as the body just sort of floats and then poof.
So we watch the body smash on the front.
As you close the door, you see a pilot who's shaking, seeing one of his comrades up against the windshield.
And
like
Dara's
this.
with me, right?
You see half of his body is very blue and pale and puffy from exposure to space. The other half is very singed. It's like icy hot, basically.
And the mechanical arm is waving to you guys too.
And you see his ship. You see Dimitri gives you an excited wave from the cockpit. He's been like hovering over you the entire time watching this. And you just see the pilot of the Raider ship just kind of like...
I'm gonna put my hand on the Raider's shoulder. Do you give up? There's a yes, no. If you say no, the woman I am very fond of is going to blow your head off. Or you say you're done, and we tie you up in the hole for the next spaceport we get to, and you have a chance. Or do I shove this baton into your neck like I just did your superior?
You also have the remains of the other ship.
Yeah, there's no blood splatter on the front of
Make
the
an
ship.
intimidation roll with advantage.
That's right.
Still the remnants of the other ship still glued to the bottom of the line.
18.
He rolled relatively high, but not that high. He's sort of got his hands on the levers of the ship, shaking, and then they just sort of
Hands up.
hands up behind the head.
I gently guide him from the seat, give him to Dara, and ask her to detain him and bring him down into the storage.
Dara pretty much grabs him by the collar.
I don't think he'll
drags
fight.
him away. He looks light as a feather, pretty much, as she. I'll just say this. Just drags him pretty much. Boris follows behind.
Yep. I motion over to Boris.
Just so they can figure out what they're doing with him.
Well, it looks like the anchor's gotten a unsightly growth.
Once we get back to port, we'll be able to seal the hull and extract it.
At this point, the ship the anchor actually comes to like a pretty much a stop as the captain walks. He asks her what they're doing first. Is the Is everything clear?
All hostiles eliminated. It looks like Bob's ship is ready to be reattached whenever convenient.
So you hear the bolts unchunking as the captain comes out, kind of walks out.
I'll go greet him.
It's like, hello, Commander Reynolds. Oh dear.
Yep, so we have 3 bodies. I tell the captain one hostile gave up willingly. He was the pilot of the ship. I sent Dara and Boris down to secure him in the hold until we get to the next station. It looks like I look out the window to where your ship is, probably just like this way.
You can see it through a view
I can just see it through
kinda here.
Yep, I just motion over it. It looks like the other ship was taken care of by Bob's ship.
You can see it sticking out from underneath Bob's ship.
Like I said, the ship was taken care of by Bob's ship.
It's missing its front. It's pretty much cut off here.
I shrug, laugh. I figure I'll ask what the hell fuck happened later. But yeah, I tell the captain that I go over to Jenkins and Reynolds and I ask them to clean up the bodies, remove any gear for storage hold, and I ask the captain if he want to check on the crew.
If you want him to check on the crew.
If he wants me to check on the crew.
He says, yes, I'll correspond with Captain Noah about maybe expediting our arrival at the next colony so we can perform repairs. From my knowledge and the conflicts I've been a part of, boarding ships like this will stay put long term, but it's very dangerous to have something like any accident could send that thing off the side of the ship, and then we would be depressurized.
Understandable, Captain. So if you want the harbor master know, we need a docking ship removal on the next port. I'll remove the bodies and take care of anything else, Captain.
He walks back into the bridge. You can hear him talking with the pilot before the door closes behind them. Reynolds and Jenkins are...
I gave them the orders, strip the bodies, anything useful.
Reynolds and Jenkins are basically holding either side of this dude as they're trying to get in here. At this point, you can probably dock back up with the anchor if you'd like to.
Yeah, I guess I'll dock back up and let my ship salvage.
It's a bit less of a snug, bit less comfortable of a fit, as now you have this other ship sort of
magnetized to me.
Magnetized in claws being taken apart. The AI lets you know that probably within the next 12 hours they'll have everything we're salvaging off of the ship.
Excellent.
It's mainly just raw materials. These are very simple boarding crafts.
Any upgrades? That you found so far?
I could probably improve our
I give you full permission to help yourself, sweetie, to any parts that are going to be an upgrade to you.
Oh, thank you. One of the claws in the front of the ship kind of goes like that. It's like, oh, thank you.
Perfect. You're starting to get it.
And the ship AI says, relatively more cheery than normal, that it could probably implement a lot of parts into the primary thrusters, give the ship a bit more speed.
Anything to make you better, baby.
There's just sort of silence for a bit as it's processing, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna eat that shit. And it sort of flips off.
Good girl. Enjoy your dinner.
Right.
And
we don't just take NPCs, we take others and make them our pets.
What the fuck becomes a flagship?
And you see now at this point the claws are pretty much digging into part. The claws will. There at this point it isn't like before. It was taking panels off. Now it's just crunch,
ripping shit apart.
Then a thing comes out, heats it up so it becomes a bit more liquid, and then the claw goes, and then comes out to grab more.
Ship, I love you.
As it's just feeding metal and parts into itself, pretty much.
That is so disturbing.
It's very disturbing.
I am the crab.
This is a monster ship. I couldn't give you whatchamacallit from D&D, but I've given you an approximate. The big living ship thing.
Oh, nautiloid.
I couldn't give you a nautiloid, but I've given you as close to that as I can willingly give up.
Okay. This will be fun.
As it's just tearing into this transport shuttle.
Alright. I'll talk to you. So, you breached your ship up there.
Yep.
Why didn't you use any of the guns you have on the side here to get rid of them? I saw a couple when I flew up.
Those are mostly for in-fleet fighting if they were ever attacked at a port. They're not meant for breaching. The breaching ships can go around and above them. They're only set up at one angle.
It's very light armaments. You think they wouldn't really do much against the ship.
Wow. So, this really does happen a lot out here.
Nah, pirates, terrorists, normal things.
Okay. I'm not in trouble for killing, right?
No!
Okay.
I mean...
'Cause I didn't kill them. I tried to save them, and it was just... I
Seems like
couldn't
a lot
save
more
them.
effort. You could have just, if you were able to kill them, feel free, they're pirates.
Okay.
No one feels bad about
I
that.
don't need a story. Got it.
You hear it as let's see actually, as these two are
Moving
finally
the
get this
corpses.
body through the door. Hear Reynolds say, "It's pirate scum. Who gives a shit?" As they sort of walk away, you hear that over the comm.
True. Yeah, I'll check with the engineers and the doctor. I'll check with the crew chief to see if there's any damage we sustained, any issues, and ask him how...
Bodies.
Yeah, we can move the bodies in.
Yeah, no, I'm
tomorrow.
just reorganizing.
Yeah,
Keep
sure.
going.
But I'll check with the crew chief to see if there was any other damage to the ship other than the docking, and how long it would take him and his crew to fix it once we get back to port, so we can get this drop ship off our hull.
By this point, the red combat lights kind of all return to normal. Doors unlock and open. You see, by the time you get back there, Andy's talking with him about repairs, pretty much.
Yep.
So in what order would you want to do? Sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to. If Andy and the crew chief are talking, I'll call to them both. You know,
Yeah,
hey
they-
Andy, crew chief.
They both turn.
Any other damage from that boarding? Just aside from the actual boarding ship, any other problems, issues? Anything issue with our engines?
Fortunately, they only hit us at one point, so we don't have damage across the ship. Despite, alongside the obvious giant hole in the wall, there's concern, especially with us having to drag the boarding ship along with us, that the wall itself could potentially lose some structural integrity. So, while there's no immediate threat, repairs will be extensive.
Understandable. Would it be agreeable to fix the hull from the interior and then have Bob's ship take the ship off the hull?
We'll see what we can do in the next day of travel, because you guys are at this point only about a day out from the colony.
Yeah, we're only a day away,
About
so...
fixing the inside and making it safe enough that the bigger ship could be removed.
Okay.
But hey, you have another drop ship.
We really have no purpose for that sort of ship, so if Bob wishes to repurpose it, or if you wish to turn it in at the colony, it's...
I'll open up the radio comm. Looks like when we get to the colony, we're going to rip off the boarding ship. Do you want it for scrap for yours? Or...
Yeah, I'll sell it.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll find someone.
Oh yeah, you could probably sell something like this for... This thing is also, like, in mint condition. It's not torn to shit, like, it didn't have the entire cockpit torn off, like the one that your ship
Yeah.
is currently midway through eating.
Yeah, but we have no need for a drop ship, so if you want it, it's yours. We'll have to fix the interior, fix the hull first, but it'll be yours after that. We'll take care of the next port.
Alright.
I can do a roll into how much you'd get from selling this thing off once you get to the colony at this point.
Okay. Then can I do my charisma roll to see if I can up-chat him and rip him off?
Sure. Yeah, you can get in communication with a few people on the upcoming colony.
Yeah, we're already seeing who there is for robot fighting, so I'll see also who's looking for a drop ship.
It's very similar parties.
Well. That sucks. 12.
On a 12, you can't really upsell too many people. But for a dropship like this, it is technically only half of a dropship convoy. If it had the complete set, that would be really valuable. But for one of these, you could probably get about 2,000.
That's it? Ships are cheap.
Well, this ship doesn't have any interior. It's just
It's
a
a
drop
very
ship.
small ship. It
It's a
has no
very
armaments.
one purpose.
It's meant for carrying people. But you could probably get 2,000.
Okay. I'll sell it.
If you wanted to like meet with someone in person at the colony and wait, you might be able to upsell a bit.
It's
but
not going to be worth it for that much of a difference because then I'm going to get, an extra 500 at most?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So 2,000?
Yep.
Okay.
I know the money system in this game doesn't really make a lot of sense, but
It's okay. Monetary systems don't make sense along many different things, especially when you're going interplanetary and so forth.
yeah.
So anything else exciting happen on the way to the station?
Make a roll for it.
Red Comet has some good fights lined up.
I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
No, that's really good. I did not roll a 0. It is a boring, long, nerve-wracking ride there, but you guys run into no further trouble.
I'm not nerve-wracked.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. But you can see that everyone aboard the ship, aboard the anchor itself, is very nervous. Pretty much no one is using this section of the ship and only passing through it very quickly, and they're keeping doors shut.
Yeah, because they're afraid of a decompression.
They're afraid that at the slightest bit of turbulence, this thing is just going to take a wall with it.
Are you questioning their pilot or anything?
I know there's a danger of decompression. Oh, the pilot.
The pilot is.
You acquired.
He's pretty much in lockdown.
Oh yeah.
As is at the moment, both Dara and Boris are in there, getting him situated.
Yeah. Honestly, I intend to turn him in to the enforcements. I don't really care about. I don't need any information from him. Do you need? I ask you if you want me to ask the pilot anything. If you give me a word, I'll get it from him.
If I'm bored, I might go talk to him, but that would just be to pick his brain as to, culture and who he was working for, or how he ended up in that position.
Interrogate him if you want.
But
I assume the basic information Dara or Boris
I have
would
not
get.
stepped foot up on your ship yet.
You're
I've
not.
been staying in my ship the whole time.
Yeah.
They're
No
gonna
one's-
make a few intimidation rolls as they interrogate this guy.
Yeah, that's
So-
fine. I assume they will.
That's where I'm coming from. I haven't gone up
No,
to
you
the
don't
ship
have
to
to.
talk to the crew or anything else yet.
They can't get any personal information out of him, but actually wrote down the name. They do get some general purpose information that they were able to get from him and from looking into the. They actually, at one point, I'm just gonna say over the next few hours, eventually they have Andy go in there in a spacesuit just in case to search the databanks of the dropship. Very simple stuff. Don't get a lot. They do get a name for the pirate organization that these guys are a part of, which is the Tronstad Legionnaire.
Tronstad Legionnaire.
Tronstad?
Yep. And with that name, I'd let you do a history check into figuring out who these guys are. Like if you've heard their names around or anything.
I know nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've no clue who these guys are.
That's a 12.
On a 12?
Yeah.
You look through some data banks about space pirates. You see the name come up a few times, but no specifics. You do know they operate out of mini lunar space, like colonies and stuff closer to the moon. So it's kind of weird they're all the way out here, but they're just kind of like another group of vocal anti-coalition space pirates.
Okay, so anti-coalition space pirates.
Yeah, much like the Darksiders. The Darksiders are like the big one. They're like, I don't know if I can say that word on Twitch, so I'm not gonna. But they're like the big guy that everyone knows about.
Yeah. Dimitri and I spend that next day just getting drunk and talking about how much fun that was, destroying the ship and so forth.
But these guys are just kind of in general more raiders.
Okay.
But they pretty much lock him up in this
Yep,
room.
that's fine. If they found out who he works for, that's enough for
Yeah,
me.
they got a name. They couldn't get much else. He didn't have much else. They didn't attack you guys for any specific reason other than your ship looked fancy. They thought they could get some good stuff from selling stuff in it or selling it.
Reasonable assessment.
Jenkins and Reynolds do pretty much remove any and all gear from the dead bodies and then use one of the hatches to pretty much dump them out into space.
No, that's acceptable.
And then the gear is taken into
The anchors hold.
yeah, it's taken in. It's actually given to the crew chief because he is also kind of not really a weaponsmith, but it's kind of
Does tinker.
his
He's the
forte.
quartermaster?
Yeah. So they give him like bits of armor. The armor's all a bit damaged from you guys fighting them. A few weapons. Either of you could take what you wanted out of the weapons if you really wanted to.
No, doesn't
It's
have
a
right
it's
now.
a basic rifle. They pull a stun gun off of that drone that Boris hit by accident, and then a relatively large thermal blade and thermal axe.
Okay. I'll let him.
At the moment, it'll just kind of be general inventory for the ship if anyone
But
wants to grab
a
it.
thermal axe might be a nice gift to Dimitri.
Yeah, I let you and the guys downstairs, which is kind of how I think of it in this perspective. You're just
The
downstairs.
guys live in the basement.
Yeah, you guys live in the basement. I let you guys know that all the reclaimed goods off the pirates are attacked.
I'll
You guys.
take a stun gun.
All right, what's the info on the stun gun? I'll bring it down.
All right.
I mentioned the thermo axe in case Dimitri or Lugnut were interested.
The stun gun doesn't do damage, but on a successful hit, it will deal d6 rounds of stun, pretty much.
Perfect.
Does Dimitri or Lugnut want any of the stuff?
Huh?
I mean, the suits of armor, we'll give those to the crew chief. But do Dimitri or Lugnut want any of the other stuff that we found?
Lugnut's good. Not really anything that'd be useful for him. He's been working on some maintenance with Red Comet. Dimitri, when offered, says he'll take the axe just because it's awesome.
I'll take the axe out of storage.
And then when you bring it down, I'll just say Lugnut. He actually approaches you. He's like, on second thought, for a certain upgrade that Bob recommended, I am going to need some thermal components. Would you mind giving me the sword, perhaps?
I let Dimitri know that Lugnut asked for it, so he's not mad that I'm not giving it to him. But I'll give it to him.
You gave Dimitri the axe.
Oh, the axe, so the
Dimitri,
sword.
Dimitri gets the hand
oh,
axe,
oh.
and Lugnut requests the sword for the part.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine, yeah. I'll bring him down and give it to him. Yeah, no issue.
Just another trip up and down.
Yeah.
He takes it into the hold downstairs, pretty much.
Just watch him kind of take it and scurry downstairs. That's fine.
And you guys are on course to dock at the next colony. In the next
And
24 hours.
what colony is it? Is it just the next colony because we were attacked, or is it...
You guys were very close to the next colony you were officially supposed to hit.
Okay, so that's where we go to?
Yeah, so 47.
47.
Yeah, so next week will be an exhibition match, probably. And
Probably. Get to see what this colony is like.
I'm gonna get my ship painted.
Some upgrades and stuff, and maybe a bit of shopping and whatnot.
Maybe a professional retouch.
Probably
Actually,
could.
that's what I thought about before we left the port. I was like, how much would I do to get a professional retouch? Just so I'm not a liar about calling you a ship a luxury cruiser.
Make it actually look like a
Make
luxury.
it look like
Yeah.
it. I would have paid for it. I would have.
And I also would like to extend my cargo hold if I can.
That's all upgrades we can discuss and stuff for next week.
Okay.
That's all right.
Sure.
That's all I
Yeah.
had planned for today. If you guys are cool with calling it there.
Yeah, that sounds great. I had a
So-
lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good time, man.
Sorry
So-
it was so slow for so long.
No,
No, you actually went.
No, you
look,
handled it
man.
well. You kept the game moving. It kept interesting the whole time. It followed storyline perfectly. You know, I went on meandering paths that, you know, were going to be quiet time anyway, and so did he. You know, you confronted the android.
Yeah, there were
That might
RP
be an
opportunities.
He very clearly is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was
He's
an
trying to
android.
retain the facade that he is. That he's a
Yeah,
badass.
come on down and make the illegal AI, and then you'll be perfectly fine with our crew now.
Well,
No one really knows that much
that
about you
or
or
I
your
don't
ship
want him to
because-
go downstairs because let's be honest, didn't we just learn that AI took over androids first and killed everyone? Like, there's a reason I don't want them to meet. I don't know.
Yeah, no one really knows much about your ship because all they've heard from you is different communications. Just like, kind of every 5 hours they do a quick check-in and that's
I
it.
think I've proved myself as a good pilot now.
Oh no, you did. You stopped half of that assault purely on your own.
Yep, that was
I would have
effective.
stopped the other half too if I actually put my mind to it, but ship-to-ship combat's not that much.
Well, mind you, they weren't shooting anything, and
Yeah.
you were dealing with
I'm gonna
melee
be
in
honest,
space.
I
There's a
wasn't
difference.
kind of planning on you going out there and fighting them by yourself, so I made it very simple. Knowing in the future that that's going to be a thing, I might do a bit of planning for that.
Well, that and the next pirate ship we come by might actually have something that shoots. Like, these guys are just drop ships.
These
that
are
worked out
basic boarding
perfect.
ships, so
Yeah, these are boarding
you could
craft.
claw them to death very easily.
Might be harder to do with an armored ballistic.
Who knows? We'll see you next time.
So we'll start before we arrive at the next start post.
Yeah, we'll pick up next session as you guys are arriving.
Yeah.
We're
Sounds
not going
good.
to run into anything between now and then.
My shopping list would be increase the size of the storage container of my cargo space. Get a true like clean job and paint job. And I think I want to paint the ship like a dark royal purple. That way it looks black under most lights, but when the light hits it just right, it has that rich purple regal look.
Yeah.
And if I can, install 1 to 2 railguns.
We'll probably have to do
Ship
some
railguns.
probably have
That
to
would
do some
take a lot
rolls.
more supplies than the
Probably
rest
gonna
of
have to
it.
do some rolls for that.
Yeah.
But I'll keep that in mind.
Or at least start the process for installation or creation of one.
Yeah. And we can handle that next
As well
session.
as any possible like software upgrades I can get for.
Yep. You'll also be able to. You'll be selling that off clearly, so
Yeah.
be no shortage of funds.
I already figured the 2,000 for the
All right. Yeah.
and added that to my stuff. We didn't.
Well-
I didn't figure in the salvage stuff yet.
Yeah. We'll just I'll update the sheet a little bit. Maybe add a few things on for what the salvage is able to.
For the salvage, just put it in as like spare parts and upgrade the ship.
Yeah.
Because this ship has been going for so long on nothing that.
I'll probably write up some actual stats for it.
Yeah, if it was only a small ship worth of parts, then it just would have been just enough, probably spare parts to get me back to a
Yeah.
better working condition.
So we can cover all of that at the beginning of the next section.
Sounds perfect.
Sounds good.
Run over some upgrades and stuff. I meant that you guys level up, however that's going to work.
Yeah, I think it would probably be time.
Okay. You're not taking the power armor?
To where?
There's a guy with power armor.
Yeah, we store it in a hold.
You're not taking it?
No. My character wouldn't.
Okay.
He's a drop shoot.
You're also kind of
Drop
a dex
shot.
fighter.
And
so
a dex fighter, so the armor wouldn't help me at all.
Gotcha. Alright, well then we will sign off. Thank you for joining us, all that joined.
Thank you,
And-
everyone who watched, for watching.
Yeah. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening and see you Saturday.